All right, so we have started. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I am Alice Keeler. I live in Fresno, California, and I am a math teacher and
Who started the meeting?
And I have joining me is
I think so. Let me just check
here. I have Lisa Dabbs joining down, also in California. She is my mentor and just somebody who's just full of great wisdom. She's a former principal. And Lisa, maybe you could just share a little bit more about yourself.
Sure, I'm happy to. Alice, I'm so excited to be here with you this evening, and I'm so glad that you decided to host some of your webinars at different times for different parts of the country and the world. So, hey, friends, my name is Lisa Dabbs, and I am a former school principal and a consultant now, and I'm also a school board member. So I am very, very passionate about the work that we do as educators and to serve children. And so I love the idea and always have since I learned about technologies years ago to see the kinds of technologies that we can use to support our teachers, but ultimately the children in the classroom. And as that passion grew a few years ago, I actually ran a chat on Twitter for 7 years for new teachers. So I really care a lot about what kinds of things we do for them. And so I'm hoping today, as Alice shares her easy wins, that there's going to be in the future some new teachers that I'm going to ask to join us if they don't come on tonight to check out the way that Microsoft Teams could actually help them to engage with their students in the classroom.
I'm really happy that you said it that way because that's exactly my approach to using Teams. In fact, whenever I'm doing pretty much anything with anyone that I even have just one document. So let's say, Lisa, you and I were going to share a spreadsheet because, of course, the answer is always a spreadsheet. And my traditional workflow would be just that we would interact and share in the spreadsheet, right? But Teams just adds this extra layer of interactivity and conversation to your even one document that I like to be like, oh, we're going to work on this, not for just today. Then I want to create a team for that. And that's what Teams does really well is the interactivity. So taking that, like, this isn't just where I dump my assignments. Yes, I can create assignments in Teams, but you lose so much when you just think about it as a way to have assignments. No, it's a way to interact and have conversations. And conversations are so powerful for student motivation and for student learning. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on the slides that I have shared here. Okay. All right. And I'm going to minimize that on there. All right, so we're doing easy wins with Microsoft Teams. So I'm looking today at a few things that you should be able to do quickly and easily tomorrow that helps you to feel like you're really a ninja with using Microsoft Teams. My Twitter handle is @AliceKeeler and Lisa is @TeachWithSoul, and we would love for you to tweet and share your easy wins about Microsoft Teams. So my first easy win, there we go. There we go. My first easy win is to create channels. To me, channels are the best part of Microsoft Teams. You think about it, I've got a little screenshot here. As you can see, this is the team that I have set up for me to organize up all of these webinars. So I've got a week 4 webinar, and I was able to interact with and plan with Lisa through here. So you'll notice I created a channel for that. And so everywhere you want to have any kind of a conversation, you want to have a channel for that conversation. So I've got this week 4 easy wins, but you might want to do it for each unit, like unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, and you would have obviously unit conversations for those. And then you can hide units or channels that are no longer active, so you're really focusing on the current unit. You would also make one, anytime you have a project the students are working, I would encourage you to create a channel for each project because that gives you a place to have conversations about the project. You'll notice that there's a files. Does this show up? Can you see the spotlight?
No, I'm not seeing a spotlight. I see your cursor.
I'm doing that. Some depends on the product, whether or not my spotlight tool will work. What about this one? Now does it show up? No?
No.
Forget it. So you'll notice that there's a files tab up at the top and it says posts and then files, and anything in there is collaborative. So it just makes it really easy for you to have conversations, work on things together. You can create a view only folder. So like, here's all the project directions, and it's all organized right up under the channel right there. It's a great way to differentiate. I can create a channel just for one student or a small group of students. So I can provide them with different types of supports than I give other students. And then any of your group work, you would want to make a channel per group. So,
Alice, I really like the way that you're explaining channels, because when I first started to do a little discovery on Microsoft Teams, they talked about how pivoting to other parts of Teams is really the heart and soul of Teams. And so I really love the idea of doing channels. And I like what you said right now, where you said, I could make a channel just to connect with one student. I think that's so awesome and allows for that deeper dive of collaboration whenever you want it.
Yeah, this is one thing that drives me crazy about self-paced, so-called personalized learning. You know, we're not going to just take our students and dump them into some computer program and then we mark down that they've had this amount of compliance that's never been teaching. Why is that suddenly teaching? And so Teams allows me to teach, it allows me to interact with kids. And then what I do when I teach is I treat each kid like the individual that they are. And the ability to have these conversations with just one student, that I say, okay, I can't tell you how many times I've done let's make a deal with a kid, right? I'm sure you've done that, Lisa, right? Like, you know, it's fine. You don't have to do that. Would you be willing to do, you know, make me a whole project about blah, blah, blah instead? So Teams lets me do that really easily. Then I create this channel and then I put in the notes and conversation of what we agreed to. Yeah. I have these shared files of what we agreed to. I make a rubric and I add that to the shared files. And then it's just with that one student and we have an agreement and it's real clear, and then we can ask questions and follow up. Whereas when I do with the whole class, we have this side agreement, but I can't keep talking about it with them because I've got everybody else to focus on. So I just love channels. It is the best part of Teams. All right. So I switched over there. I'm not sure if it ever actually, I was trying to show my face. I don't think I did. So it's real easy to add a channel. You click on the three dots next to the channel title and you just click add channel. So my next easy win is create collaborative PowerPoints. Now, if anybody knows me, they know that I love collaboration. That is my #1 focus. And you can collaborate so easily in Teams. In fact, that's really what it's designed for. It's called Teams. We're a team. We're doing things together. And I just love the idea that my class is my team. Stop sharing. Right, Lisa? Like, we're ending this era of it's my class, my assignments, and we facilitate with kids instead. And we have conversations with them. And the person doing the talking is the person doing the learning. There's a lot of debate on Twitter of who said that. Someone says they're attributing it to me because I say it so often, and I'm like, I definitely did not originate that. In fact, I was in Pernille Rip's webinar today, and she used that quote referencing someone else. So it is not me, but the person doing the talking is the person doing the learning. And so how can we get the kids to do more conversations, more talking, and getting everyone into the same one PowerPoint is a great way to do that. And just like the old school model is everyone's doing something individually at their desk. But actually, you know, 1 + 1 is not 2. And when the kids are talking, they're working through ideas together. When you critique the reasoning of others, it's real easy to critique the reasoning of others when you're in the same document. You just go to, like, I'm on slide 5 and you're on slide 7. I go down to slide 7 and I can just insert some comments. We don't have to trade papers and have some complicated system. We're just in there together. And so that's really my favorite.
Yeah. And I really love that too, Alice, because when I was doing some adjunct teaching with child development majors, potential new teachers, they were really blown away by the idea of being able to actually collaborate on a slide. And so the fact that you can do that, not only, you know, with adults learning, but now we're actually talking about with younger kids, I think that's just so powerful. And it reminds me of when I was a kindergarten teacher, and I've talked about this in a blog, the morning meeting, where we're drawing from kids their ideas. And I'm thinking to myself right now, could you actually like do a digital morning meeting in Teams where kids could do that same processes?
Yeah, absolutely, of course. And then I was working, I've been working for several years with this school district a little north of me, and they, in the induction programs, these are new teachers who have a mentor, and they were doing their exit interviews this week. And so they're just talking like, what did you get out of the program? What was your favorite parts? And the woman who's in charge just kept texting me all day saying, hey, this induction person who's exiting said that their favorite thing is when you showed them how to collaborate on PowerPoint. You know, that getting all the students together on one PowerPoint is the most transformative thing that they've had happen to their classrooms for their whole experience of being in induction. And she said that was just really a reoccurring theme. It's so powerful to be together.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love it.
I'm going to switch this on back. So collaborative PowerPoint, the way that you create that in Teams, tuck that sucker down there. The way that you create that in Teams, come on, go to the next slide. There we go. Is when you're in any channel, every channel has a Files tab. And by default, we are a team, so we collaborate. So all of the documents added to a Files tab are, by nature, collaborative. So when I just go New PowerPoint, of course I can upload a template. That's easy to do. You can see it says upload right next to there, but you can also just drag it into the team, into the files, and instantly everyone has access to that PowerPoint. So whatever I have kids do on paper, whatever I have them do on whiteboards, I have them do it on collaborative PowerPoint. And it just changes the whole dynamic. I now only have one document to open and look at to give feedback. We do feedback together. Makes it really easy to do feedback together. So if I have all the students do whatever the assignment or the task is, where they do it on their own slide, then if we are face-to-face, or if we are in a Zoom meeting or a Microsoft Teams meeting, I know Nancy Klein's district, while they're a Teams district, they use some different products. So whatever your video product is, you just hit present, the present button on the PowerPoint, and everyone's talking about each other's work and the conversations and discussions around student work. Whereas if you have individual files, that's really kind of tricky to do. You got to load up each one individually. Who's do you open and share? And so now we're just creating conversations and having the students do the talking and the students do the learning around student work. So I love that. And then once you've added your PowerPoint to the team, if you go to the three dots next to the PowerPoint on the Files tab, you can choose Copy Link. So what that lets you do is to take that link, you're creating an assignment, and you're like, so for this assignment, you are not going to make your own Word document. You're not going to make your own PowerPoint. We're going to collaborate together. Click here on this link to go to the PowerPoint that we're going to work on together and do your work on your own slide. So it's fairly easy for you to add these into any assignment.
Now, Alice, within that structure, are you, I think I know the answer to this, but can you mention people in the slide, or is there a way that people can know that they've been pinged in a slide? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, in any Office documents, you can @mention.
Okay.
And what happens is when I use a PowerPoint or Word document or Excel from Files, and I open it from Files, it actually opens right in Teams. And actually, let me show you this because it's really, really cool.
Okay.
So I'm going to go right over here, and I've got Teams. And I would like to, so I'm going to open this PowerPoint that's on my Files tab. You'll notice it doesn't launch in a new tab. It doesn't launch in PowerPoint. It keeps me right in Teams. All
love
over
that.
the place. And then it should be showing me the conversations comment. There it is. Aha! Conversation button only shows up when your file is in Teams.
Love
if you
it.
show the file any other way, you don't have this conversation. In fact, even when we're talking about individual student documents, so if students have their own PowerPoint and it's in an assignment, well, the conversation is actually happening in a Teams post. Well, Teams posts aren't on assignments. An assignment doesn't have a post channel.
Right.
So when I click here, conversation on the side, I'm actually having this conversation. Put at Lisa, should pop right up there. There we go. At Lisa, can you check these slides? So with Teams itself, I can have this whole conversation, and I'm going to go ahead and bop right over here in Teams. I'm going to leave the PowerPoint. I'm going to go to the post. This is a channel. This is my week 4 channel. And you'll see what I have now is because I had a conversation in the document, it links to that document in the post. So it just makes it so super fast and easy for the students to get onto the documents you're all having conversations about. And if I reply here, it actually is going to be in that conversations within the document.
That is so awesome. I love that, girl. I really do.
Lisa, I think you might have been not talking about that, but I wanted to make sure I highlight what I think is one of the best features of Teams is it has all these ways that it keeps bringing you back to the same place. So you're not all over, you're all over the place. But you can absolutely do at mentions, comments, right in PowerPoint, just like you can in Word and other products.
Oh, I love that. Thanks for sharing that. That's very cool.
All right. I'll just bop back over there. Go back to the PowerPoint. All right. Now, talking about that PowerPoint, how do I direct students to it? And I did mention you could copy the link to the PowerPoint and add it to an assignment, which is a great way to direct students' attention. But I think anything that you're actively using that you would like to focus on, it's a great idea to add it as a tab. So all I have to do is on the Files tab, I'm going to find the PowerPoint. I'm going to find those 3 dots, and I choose Make This a Tab. Make this a tab. And so you'll notice up at the top right now it says Posts, Files, and Notes. Those are the tabs at the top. I'm going to add a tab that says Current Easy Wins for this one. So you'll notice that it now says Posts and Current Easy Wins. So it's taken this PowerPoint and pinned it up as a tab at the top. Now pinning it is something different, but I still like to use it. Freezing. And so you click on it, it opens right up to the PowerPoint. You're like, oh, we're working on this PowerPoint. Because you notice in that post, I had 3 different PowerPoints. So if I say, oh, go over to the files, find the PowerPoint we're working on, you're like, which one are we working on today? Because I literally do a collaborative PowerPoint every single day. Literally every single day I do a collaborative PowerPoint. So for Unit 1, you can imagine that I have a lot of Unit 1 PowerPoints. Because remember I told you, you can do it on a whiteboard. You can do it on a collaborative PowerPoint. So the one that I want them to focus on today, I'm going to add it as a tab. They can go right there. It's up at the top. No having to, just a list of files and they open up the wrong one. You can just right click and remove that and replace it.
Now, that is really cool. And I have another question though.
Sure.
As you're doing these PowerPoints and you're doing your individual slides, what about formatting? So can you change the format of the PowerPoint slide that you're working on? Is it set in stone? Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Well, Lisa, my favorite part of PowerPoint is Slides Designer. It has artificial intelligence built in that is like, I made some slides earlier and I deleted them because I just wanted to see what Slides Designer would do. So take a look at this.
That's cool. Okay, let's see.
I've got a obsession with it, honestly. I mean, it's PowerPoint, Lisa, so obviously they can change the layout. It doesn't alter. This is regular PowerPoint. It's PowerPoint Online, which is my preferred way of accessing Office documents. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to add a new slide. Once this loads, Do you notice here that what I put into the post channel is actually showing the conversation of my PowerPoint?
So awesome. I love that.
And
I'm thinking about kids, how much they love that because it's just right there for them. They don't have to go searching for it. Yeah.
Let's talk the language the kids use. So, okay, so I want to add, oh gosh, I use Slides Mania, so there's no bullet point template in here. So I'm going to have to make one, and let's hope that it's going to work out okay. So I go to the Insert menu and text box. Here we go. And then for that text box, I want it to be bullet points. Okay, so I'm going to say, what are some things that you can do in Teams? You can chat, you can collaborate, you can save files, you can make assignments. Okay, so then I'm going to close the conversations, and I'm going to click here on Slide Designer. Oh, geez, I had a feeling that was going to happen. I have created a custom template, so of course it doesn't have suggestions because it doesn't have them loaded into the custom template that I uploaded. Hey, good news, it's super fast and easy to make a new PowerPoint.
I love it.
I mean, I just love this. The second I hit files and I create a new PowerPoint, Lisa, you can edit this. I know you have an iPad right there, and you've got the Teams app on your iPad.
Yeah, totally.
So right now, everyone in my team can edit this. I don't have to notify anyone. I don't have to put the link anywhere. It's just like, boom.
Yep, I see it. That is so cool.
I'm going to collaborate and wait for Slides Designer. There it is. Woo! So it just gives me all these fun layouts on the side.
Oh, that is very cool.
Now, one of the things is we really want to help kids to learn how to communicate clearly. Communicate is not words. Communicate is communicate. You communicate with your body language. You communicate with art. You communicate with pictures. You can communicate with or without words. I'm going to use this one. And so, I mean, even just look what I'm going to do here. I'm going to add this slide. I'm going to do report on bees. And this should, right, we've got honey, combs, flowers. Okay, come on. Don't let me down, designer. First of all, look at this. When I choose this one, this is what I was trying to show with the bullet points. It automatically.
Oh,
Now, of course,
that is so awesome.
But I am not going to lie. This is literally my idea of a good time on a Saturday night. Is I just make bullet point lists just to see that it'll make the icons for me intelligently. And then I just delete it because I didn't. And I was doing this the other day from student view. I was having the student make a report on bees. Let me close this. I'm going to open up Designer again. I just love this. Every time I close it and open. Okay, so this one's a little closer. I bet you there's a bee behind that. If I were to bet you there's a bee in that picture. It's just every time I do this, it gets like, how about this? Well, how about this way? So anyway.
And Alice, the opportunity for creativity on the part of our kids is not limited. Now they can, the sky's the limit. And that is what I think is one of the powerful pieces about Designer. That is really, really fun.
Aha!
Oh, look at that.
It is reading. One of them had gave me a honeycomb when I was doing this the other day. I mean, I'm just like, are you kidding me? This is amazing. And I was able to create a beautiful PowerPoint sample of what a student might create in seconds. And I don't have to make these decisions about the graphics. I mean, look at this with the icons. Oh, geez. I love this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's beautiful.
The suggestions never end. They do, but
and the ease in which you can do it, Alice. The ease in which you can do it.
My easy wins. The easy wins is student engagement, because instead of just writing information on a PowerPoint, they get to communicate their ideas through writing their ideas on a Word document. They use a PowerPoint instead and clearly communicate in beautiful ways. That's fun. Yeah. Like, it is fun to get the right layout to communicate the ideas you're supposed to do. So if you want to talk easy wins, that's an easy win.
Absolutely.
Okay. So give praise in the post. Let's remember that Teams is designed for interacting. And I know that it's so tough right now to be doing remote learning and getting the kids to engage. I see this a lot on Facebook. How do I get the kids to engage? They're not doing any work. We all have that problem. Someone asked me this on Twitter, like, what do you do about it? And I'm like, this is a universal problem. We all have it. And it's hard because what engages one student doesn't necessarily engage another. And it could just be stress.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And Alice, this is a problem that we're seeing. And I'm just going to, take our district of 8,600 kids, K-8, our kids are struggling and they are struggling with ways to connect. And teachers are struggling with ways to let them know that it's okay.
Yeah.
So having an opportunity to be in a structure, in a team where you're going to talk about how you can give praise to kids for, hey, you went outside and you rode your bike. Yay. So that is really cool.
That I thought was a challenge when we were doing paper is, just the lag time between kids doing work. They're working on it for all of this time. They submit it. Now it's going to take at least that much time for the teacher to go through all of the students' work. And my kids feel, I've heard my daughter, she just is frustrated. Like, why do I even do this? It's hard to be engaged when you don't have engagement, when you don't have interaction. And so that all changes when you can take the process, now into teams. And if you feel like your teacher's paying attention, and it's not that they weren't, but it's just hard for you to see what attention they're giving you when they make you marks on a paper that they still have at their house in a box because they haven't passed them back yet. That's just
Absolutely.
the nature of the beast. That's not a criticism.
That's right. That's right. No, I agree with you.
Knowing that my teacher recognizes me, acknowledges what I've been contributing is very motivating to engage in the class. And so what you're able to do with Microsoft Teams is not only can you give posts, the other kids can, right? So, hey, I really appreciate the way you contributed in the Teams meeting chat, class discussion. And so what you have is on that post channel, which are, of course, every channel has a post tab. And you can have those conversations. And then you'll notice it has a whole bunch of icons underneath you chat. And it gets real fun because you can, of course, put emojis and get. But you notice this one that looks like an award.
Yeah.
That is praise. So when you click on that, it pops up and it allows you to acknowledge the contributions of someone in the class. So I really appreciate being a team player and being awesome. So you notice, of course, Lisa is one of the kindest people that I know. And I get able to give a little note. I can do this for more than one person. So if a team, a group, was particularly active and helping out in discussion, I can do it for the whole team, group. And you'll notice it posts right there on the post tab. We can have some conversations about it. You can, if you hover on the three dots on the right of anything you've posted, you can give it a thumbs up or a heart and acknowledgement. I just love that when I post something, I'm just like an announcement and I see the students or other people that I'm working with in a team and they're just acknowledging that I posted something.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times as a teacher do you just do something, you just feel like you're flinging it out and you're not even sure if anyone actually even read it? It's demoralizing for you too, right? And so
absolutely.
That's really the idea. The easy wins of teams is just acknowledging each other. And that is motivating all in itself and it's engaging.
Well, Alice, and our kids love the idea of badging and teachers do too. And I don't have to create my own in another program and upload them. I mean, they're all there for us. They're there available. It's available to the teacher to do that little piece of praise that our kids are so really desperate for right now, especially in these challenging times, but ongoing, period. So I just love that feature. That's so cool.
I'm going to go back here to the post tab because we're talking easy wins. I mean, literally, look how easy this is. I am in the conversation. I've got the little praise icon down here. I click on it. I choose the one that I want to add. I assign it to who I'm going to assign it to. Preview, send, post it right in there. It's so easy.
Cool.
And Lisa, when you came and you opened up the team, didn't you just instantly feel appreciated? Like, this is cool.
I did. It put a smile on my face. I was like, oh my gosh, that is so cool that Alice acknowledged that, that she feels like I've been very patient as we've been working on this project together. It was really cool.
Any patience I have, I learned from Lisa. Like I said, she is my mentor for sure. And so again, you know, just coming back here, like just acknowledging that students exist, that you notice. I had one parent today, they sent me a bunch of screenshots of the program that their school is using, which is different than Teams. And it just said missing, 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 missing. It was 3 screenshots worth of missing. And, you know, my question is, why are you just now finding out about this? It's hard. It's hard for sure. But, you know, we have ways to try and engage with kids and notice that they haven't been doing work. Now, a lot of times just that can bring a kid in.
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
Teams has chat. I mean, it's private. So you look on the left-hand side of Teams, it says chat right there. And you'll notice here what I'm doing is I've typed in a student's name. I just click on this little pencil icon up near the little filter icon, and I just type in their name, and it brings this up. And you'll notice this is not a comment that I put on their paper. It's not an email that I sent them. We know young people don't check email. We know that. And honestly, I hide from my email. It's a lot. It's a lot. And chat, I always tell people, just text me. Don't just text me. That's the best way to get a hold of me. Text me, right? I want to have a conversation and an interaction. An email is really kind of formal. You got to have a greeting, a signature, and really think carefully about your words. It's not a text. An email generally is not a text. This is a text. It's informal. I let there be typos because, you know, we all know what typos look like. I'm trying to have a conversation, and we have this back and forth. It is a conversation. And that's even like, that is the verbiage of Teams. Remember when we were in the PowerPoint and it had that button at the top? It's like conversations. Yep. That's beautiful. That is exactly what we should be doing with our students. Having conversations. And I noticed that you haven't done these assignments. And it's just a way to, like, you doing okay? You stress? It's private. I'm not calling them out in front of everybody.
Right. And, you know, Ellis, it's that little nudge sometimes that can make the difference between, you know, radio silence. And if we're able to find a way, and through Teams, there are ways where kids can kind of get a little nudge and just a little push and a little, you know, piece of encouragement. Hey, I'm here for you. I see that, you know, you did such a great job, or I see that you're struggling. So I think that idea of being able to reach out, and I just like the idea of a little nudge. It's not like a big thing necessarily, but it just means a lot to our kids to know that we're there with them.
And you'll notice in this chat, it also has a files tab. So remember where I was talking about where all the time, I think for the entire 21 years that I've been teaching, there's always been a let's make a deal with at least one student every semester. Right? And you're like, hey, if you do this and you make a deal, where does that contract, that quote unquote contract, get written down? And then later it's this argument like, you said this, and like, the heck, I remember what I said. I got a lot of things. And so those things that we agree on, we can also share some files together. I'm like, you know what? Let's go ahead and make this into a PowerPoint or a Word document, and let's outline what we are looking for. I, of course, like a spreadsheet because then we can mark off the different things. Create up a rubric really quick in an Excel spreadsheet and add that into the chat, that it's real clear what you want at the end of this let's make a deal.
Yeah, and those common agreements, Ellis, that kids work on with teachers, that they're collaborating with their teachers on, is so much more supportive than just saying, now you need to do this, this, and that. So within the context of this particular encouragement piece, it can again be collaborative, and kids can feel like, okay, I'm a part of setting that agreement with my teacher, even though it's a struggle for me, even though I'm not sure I can do it. And it gives teachers that opportunity to feel that they are engaging their kids in their own, in their learning, in their agreements. You know, I need for you to agree on this with me, and we need to do this together.
You have this shared file.
Exactly.
So my daughter, her teachers are just so great. You know, I shared that she was struggling with some of the workload, and that he had assigned some review work that she'd already completed. I think a lot of kids didn't do it. And so he's given them an opportunity, which is great, but she didn't. So we're like, chemistry, Minecraft has this whole new chemistry pack. How about she creates a whole project where she explores through the chemistry pack of Minecraft, and then, she'll make you a sway and present all of her work on there. I'm so proud of what she put together. She really does a nice job of communicating her ideas. And it was something that she's, more into. It's creative. She has to make decisions. How am I going to display the chemistry rather than just follow the directions necessarily? Because, you're limited in what a lot of things that you can do in a learning environment. And so you miss out on the labs, but then you can create and make things in Minecraft that allows for the opportunity. So for her to be able to show her teacher what's possible. So, because, he certainly doesn't have the time to go explore Minecraft. I feel like my hair's set on fire right now. Like, survive. So, just being able, that gives her a place, those videos that she's created, those files, she can put that right into the files tab on the chat. It's something that where they've had an agreement. She wants to ask a question, clarify, here's something I've been working on. She can add a picture onto the chat page. This is a screenshot. Am I on the right track?
Yep. Yeah. No, I totally agree.
It's so much faster and easier to give feedback when you're going down the chat and you get an alert notification, and it's just those quick interactions is a great way to sustain students in wanting to learn.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's not going to take the teacher hours of time to try to put something together. And I think that's one of the big easy wins as well, is the time factor.
Oh, totally. All right, so then you can share a meeting to a channel. So if you're doing video chat meetings with your students, the way that you do that in Microsoft Teams is you go to the calendar on the left-hand side of Teams. There's actually so many ways to schedule what we're going to call a Meet Now or a Teams meeting. It's really just designed around interacting and having conversations. So it should be no surprise. But what I've done is I've gone over to the calendar. And I'm going to set up when we're going to get together and we're going to have a discussion around some open middle problem, because I love openmiddle.com. It's DOK level 2 and 3 math problems. And the power in mathematics is having kids think about mathematics. So I want to add this to the channel. I'm going to say this is for my class that's third period or unit 5. And I'm able to just add it right in there. The notification for the meeting goes into the channel. So what's my responsibility after I create the meeting? Nothing. How's that for an easy win? What do I have to do right now if your school is using Zoom? Which, by the way, literally my favorite product is Teams meeting, and that should be obvious because right now we are in a Teams meeting. We're doing this this is not a webinar product. But I want to interact. So anyone here in the webinar can unmute their mic. They can interact with me. We can have conversations. And so this is my product of choice. The video quality is really good.
Oh, yeah.
And it has great ways that you can chat, and I can blur my background.
Yes.
And they got a lot more features coming. I could blur, but I'm going to come here. I'm going to put lockers behind me. Bye. There we go. They've just added where you can do 3x3 grid, and some other features are definitely coming. Teams meeting also does have a whiteboarding tool. So I just, look at you. Being able to personalize and do things like this, look how excited you were. So when we talk about PowerPoint Slides Designer, that's not stupid. It really is engaging for students that unlike a Word document, there's no designer for Word. Like, hey, take all my words and make it pretty. That's a lie. It does. In Word, online, you can go File, Transform to Web Page, and it turns it into a sway. And now you have a sway that looks super awesome, but my Word document still looks like a Word document. So
of course it does.
To make presentations, I just just that ability to customize, personalize, and look how Teams allows me to add praise, just do those little things, easy wins.
Oh yeah,
wins. I can change my background. And it's just having that slight locus of control, that feeling that you get to make a decision, even if the decision is I get to put bubbles behind my head, it's an easy win. It's an easy win for sure. All right, I'll come back to my presentation. So you can add them to a channel. They get the notification to join the meeting. They just go straight to the team that they always do. And it's really nice because if the meeting is happening when they go to the team, it has a big button that says join the team, because it is shared to the channel. So it knows where to announce that the meeting is happening, as opposed to if you were to put just make the meeting in the calendar and then you have to type in all the students' names or get the link and then somehow share the link with them in a place that they're going to notice it. Trust me, teams make sure you notice that there is a thing going on. It is lovely. And then, of course, I have the app installed on my phone. So it does that.
Yes. I love that. You know, since we've been working on this project, I have it on my iPad. And so if I'm doing something and I've left my home office, and I always take my iPad with me, and you ping me, I was like, oh, this is so cool. I don't have to be like stuck in front of my computer in order to be able to know that I've been notified or there's been a question. So I love that flexibility. I love that it goes across.
Changed. I mean, it has changed forever with the invention of the iPad. You know, it used to be, you know, as a one family, you would have one computer to share amongst everybody with this giant monitor, and anything you create is on this one computer, and you go somewhere else. Either you remember to bring 3.5-inch floppy, or remember those good old days, or of course you and I, Lisa, remember the good old days. And if you didn't do that, if you didn't plan in advance, you'd be like, oh, well, that's on my computer at home.
Exactly.
I work on this. I'm going to have to get this to you later somehow. Of course, we eventually worked up to the ability, I can email it to you. I don't want any more email. It's not the beauty of using Teams. Just like, let's get out of this email sense. Let's just collaborate. It's so great. You know, and so now, because I'm in Teams, I literally just go to teams.office.com. In fact, here's one of my easy wins that I did not mark down, but I thought about it. It's on a post-it somewhere.
Okay.
I like to use Teams to multitask, so I have it in my app, and then I also have the Edge Chromium browser, and I go to teams.office.com over there so that I can be like looking at an assignment, and then I can also be in a channel chat, and then inevitably there's something else that I want to do in Teams, so I just open up another tab. So I've got at office.com in 2 tabs and in my app. Literally, that is pretty dang common for me, you know, and it's just go utilize the browser, and everything saves automatically. There's no save button. You know, when I do those edits on the PowerPoint, I can have confidence that I'm going to walk out of here and I can get into the Teams app on my phone. Oh, that doesn't hear very well. You know, it's like we all have a second device.
Oh, yeah.
At a minimum, we've got a phone.
Yeah.
Not to mention my work computer. And now it's not so uncommon that you just have multiple devices. And I've gone over to people's houses and I'm like, dang it, I forgot my computer. But it's like, whatever. Just like I go to teams.office.com and I log in with my school account and I've got all of my stuff there, even though I'm on a completely different device.
Oh, yeah. And you know, Alice, we know now that mobility is never going to change. And on the contrary, people are going to become more mobile, and kids are becoming more mobile. And what about kids who, you know, maybe have to go between 2 households? And so the ability to pick up here what I left over there, I mean, we know that this is powerful. It doesn't inhibit the opportunity for them to be creative and feel connected. So I just think that's really, really important.
Yeah, thanks. I totally agree. And just making that consideration that we're using tools now that allow for this flexibility that just didn't exist. It wasn't possible when I was a student. It just wasn't. Or even when I started teaching. And so the last easy win is to manage channel notifications. So I told you that channels are the best part of Teams, and that's really awesome, except now you've got notifications flying all over the place. Not really. So the general channel has defaulted with the notifications on, but I can go to any channel click on the three dots, and I can choose channel notifications. You'll notice it also says hide. So if you are, so I'm like, we're not in week 4 anymore. In fact, you're probably asking me, like, Alice, I see you have week 3 still up there. Why? Yeah, that's a great question. Why? I should just go to the 3 dots and hide it. But I click channel notifications, and because this is the channel that I'm working on for this week, I want to make sure that I get those notifications, because you'll notice the default is all new posts is off for notifying me. It does give me a little banner pop up. So if I'm in the app, I'm going to know if someone posted in the channel, but just if I'm away, I'm not going to necessarily know. So you can set the notifications per channel. So that's just a really nice, easy way for you to have less clutter. You can hide the channels. You can set the notifications. So you're really focusing on the units and projects that you're doing right now rather than any of them ever.
Oh, yeah. And I found when I was studying more about Teams and when they talked about hiding a channel to alleviate the clutter and so that everything's not there, to not only add anxiety to the teacher.
I can still find them. They're right here.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm just going to go here. We're just going to hide it. Woo,
Well,
look how much
some of
less
us are
clutter this feels. I'm done with these. April 26th. Look at that.
And some of us who are minimalists, I raise my hand, like the idea of being able to hide things and not have so much clutter.
Just look at right now. Didn't that just feel less stressful when I just hit all those? Like, whoa, Alex, your team looks like less of a dump.
Yeah. I love it.
I love channels. I want to make a channel for everything. Everywhere we're having any kind of a side conversation, I'm making a channel. But there is a time when that comes to an end, and you need to, just like you need to clean your room, you need to clean your room.
Exactly.
So, okay, this is my last one. I did add it the last second when we were doing the run through. So, forgot about it. But this is actually a really easy win, and it really makes so much sense to do this in Teams. Is in any of the channels, you'll notice it has a plus button to say, hey, you could put more tabs on here. And there's a lot of products that integrate in, like Trello. Now, Lisa and I were having a discussion as to whether or not this is a tool that educators use. She's like, I used it all the time when I was in school. Okay, awesome. So she found out that Trello works really nicely with Teams. So you literally just go to this plus icon, and it pops up here and says you want to add a tab. And the one I use the most often is website, because if I have whatever website that I'm having students go to, be it Khan Academy or whatever, I can just add that as a tab. Because remember, anything you're working on right now, it's nice to have as a focus up at the top in these tabs. But also make sure you take them down when they're no longer something you're using frequently. So I most often use website. If you have any videos in Stream, Microsoft Stream, it's a secure way for you to contain your videos, and you can add a tab for that. Obviously, I love this. I just add a tab for PowerPoint. It just says, which one of your PowerPoints you want up here? I'm like, yeah, which one of my PowerPoints? So if you didn't make it in the Files tab, because remember I already showed you that. That was one of my easy wins. So if you're sharing a PowerPoint other than in your Files tab, and that's a great way.
And you can add Flipgrid, Alice? Tell me more about that.
Well, did you know that Microsoft owns Flipgrid?
I do remember that in the summer of 2018, correct?
Makes it 100% free. So you'll remember back in the day that Flipgrid had a premium service, and it is now all of the features of Flipgrid are completely free. I'm a huge fan of Flipgrid. If you want to talk easy wins and student engagement, Flipgrid is how students do video.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's a great way to engage students. They video response. It allows them to be some Snapchat-like filters. It now has screen recording, so students can submit their work right in through there. So if you create a Flipgrid, you can just put your join link right into the tab using the added tab there, like that. And then the current Flipgrid that you're working on becomes a tab.
Now, Alice, that's a total in particular that you wrote book with really looks at littles, that littles can do a lot of work in Flipgrid. So the beauty of them being able to do that in Teams, I think that's really awesome. That's a total win right there.
And I agree. And then my last slide was asking if anyone had any questions. Let's pop back over there.
Hey, Alice, this is
Yeah.
Nancy.
Hey, Nancy.
I just wanted to say that the tabs piece is amazing, especially with the students that struggle to find items. It gets too cluttered for them and it creates a lot of anxiety. So when you put something up there on the tabs, they can see it and they know that's what they need to go to. So many of the programs we've been working with at our district, it's very cluttered. And the parents have complained about, I can't find what they're supposed to be doing. And with Teams, everything's easy to find. It's available. You can take it down when you're finished, and the student's anxiety level just decreases by having fewer and fewer things to see.
Thank you. Now, talking easy wins of Teams, this is a brand new feature in Teams, and I see that Frances has raised her hand. So Frances, I would love for you to share your question.
Hi, it's Lisa. I have a question about the grid, the 3x3. Like, I know there's like enough people on for grid. Like, is there a way you activate that, or how does the new grid work?
That is a good question because it literally came out this week. So I'm doing the 3 dots and I don't see that as an option. I think it just does it by itself. Like, it just knows there's that many people's videos to show. So if I could get 9 of you to turn on your video, I think it would just tile us by 9. But that's a guess because it just came out this week.
Let's
Right?
try it.
So that's now the 2, 3, 4. So if we can get one more person, we can see that it sees auto tiling. So that's my, I don't think that's something that you control. And with the Teams meeting, now this is a challenge that I have for using Teams meeting as a webinar. I love Teams meeting. It's not a webinar product. That's okay. There we go.
Cool.
India. Is that this is what the video recording is going to show. So I don't have an ability to highlight myself or the speaker on the recording. So I'll take the ability to collaborate and interact with people as my preference, because to me, that's the win of using Microsoft Teams.
Oh, yeah.
Preeti, do you have a question? You have your hand raised.
Yeah. I wanted to, first of all, congratulate you for a wonderful session. I really got to learn. I was not aware of this PowerPoint collaboration feature. Thank you so much.
This
So
is very interesting, Preeti.
I am going to use it. My students are busy giving their tests. So moment their tests are over, I'm going to, the first day, my mind is working on it. What is it that I'm going to ask them to do? And also,
So my
and one
if
request.
you like it is to start with thinking whiteboards, because I just want them to, it's not a natural skill to know how to be in the same digital document, but it's an important skill because as we go outside of schools, we don't do as much things independently. Now it's really a more collaborative environment. So knowing how to be polite in the library, knowing how to be polite in a shared document, skills we want kids to have. So think whiteboards, because what do you do with a whiteboard when the kids like share their answer? We erase it. Like, I'm not grading it, I'm not turning it in. It's no big deal if it doesn't work.
I used whiteboard all of a sudden. Suddenly I enabled it and I was writing and my students were also writing. So it was a great feeling that time, I remember. So one request to you.
Sure.
Will you take any session on Minecraft? I'm really interested in doing that.
That is definitely a passion of mine. Oh, whoops. I thought I picked something else. It's now going to show some random PowerPoint.
I really want to understand Minecraft. I'm not good at it. I don't know about it much, actually. I try to figure it out. I keep on doing the modules, but
Okay, I might. So I'm doing some work for Minecraft right now. I am a huge fan. I'm just making some guides for teaching. What I find is that a lot of times we use it for free time, but really it's such a powerful learning tool. So I'm trying to pull together some resources to really focus on how you can teach really effectively and increase student engagement. So maybe I might. I'm going to do these Teams ones first, because right now.
So please include me, please. Whenever you do Minecraft,
you're in my team. And so you always get a notification. And when I do these webinars, because of course you're in the team, so you just come to the team and are able to join. So whatever I'm doing, you're going to be able to know about it. You mentioned the whiteboard app. So I was thinking the actual.
Yeah, I'm trying to open it. It's loading.
But yes, Teams does have an actual collaborative whiteboarding built into it. So that's different. That's what I meant, but it is.
Thank you so very much. And
Right.
this time suits me better. So whenever you organize, if you organize at this time, it will be really nice.
Yeah, exactly. Just getting yourself set up in advance and thinking about what do you want to do with your kids next.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. The whiteboard did not,
You can't see that.
or something. It said it's uploading, but it did not come.
Yeah, internet speed is always
Okay.
an issue. No matter, I can't solve that one yet, but I know there's a lot of smart people working on it.
Thanks a ton. Bye.
Thank you. Anyone else have a question?
Alice, I had an earlier question, just really quickly. So many of us that wear glasses or, might feel like they're wearing glasses, and we're really trying to eliminate the white, look of everything. Is there any opportunity to switch to a dark mode in Teams?
Yeah, I noticed that my phone wants to put everything in dark mode. You want your messages in dark mode? All my apps, you can put this in dark mode. And personally, I'm like, no, I don't want it in dark mode. But this is a trend I am noticing. And yes, Teams does have the ability to go to dark mode, except for the part where I just said, I don't want it in dark mode. You want me to show you where that setting is?
Yes, that'd be great. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to find it for you, Lisa, even though I've never tried to find it. I'm going to guess that it is under the settings when I am in my team. Which one of these? I don't think it would be under managed channel. I think I want it more like team settings, not
settings. That makes more sense.
Exit. I'm fairly certain I need to exit. Go to all teams. Aha. I manage teams. And that's Hannah, I don't know where this is.
Interesting. But there is an opportunity, there is an option for that, right?
Dark mode. I just don't know where to find it.
Okay. No, but that's okay. I just like knowing that there is an opportunity or an option for that, because I find that a lot of people are switching to dark mode. So the fact that they could do it also in Teams, I think is good. For people
to convince me why I want that, and then I'm going to go look for it. All right, awesome. Does anybody else have any questions before we end?
Alice, I have one more question. It's probably silly, but what is the purpose of the keypad?
The purpose of the keypad? You mean here in the meeting?
Yeah, on the bar here, you've got this keypad.
This is a meeting, and some people call into the meeting. So I know
that's all that's for.
It's pretty common. I'll have someone and they're in their car and they're driving and they're joining the meeting via phone. So I'm able to actually call their cell phone number to join the meeting, so their audio is participating.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You are a rock star. So are you, Lisa. You guys are rock stars. Love it.
I love it.
Oh, thank you.
Alice, I was just noticing, you click on your icon, the account icon, under settings, then theme, dark mode is one of the themes.
He found it.
Awesome.
Like you go in and you set your settings. You don't do that every week. You do it once and you set it and forget it. And that's half my problem. Like, I know this. I've seen it. I'm not even ignorant of it, but I just haven't done it in a while.
But that's cool. An easy win. Yeah.
All right. Well, if that is all of the questions, I'm going to thank all of you for joining me. And Lisa, as always, you are my mentor and my very good friend, and she makes the best coffee. And so I like to come down and visit her just so she can make me coffee.
Thank you, Alice.
Thank
this
you very
has been so
much.
much fun. I really enjoyed it. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. It's just like It's powerful to learn.
Thanks. So one last thing is to end this meeting that's really important is I could just hang up like all of you are going to do. You see the hang up icon here in Teams meeting. But as the host, it's super important that I click on the 3 dots and I choose end meeting and it's going to kick you all out. I'm going to do that right now. If any of you are in my team, we can continue the conversation in our channel. Bye, you guys.
Thank you, Alice.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.